rise, veuillez vous lever. The International Criminal Court is now in session. L'audience de la Cour pénale internationale est ouverte.
The case of the prosecutor versus Ali Muhammad Ali Abd-Al-Rahman continued with the testimonies of 7 prosecution witnesses who testified between the 6th and 17th of June 2022 before Trial Chamber 1, comprised of presiding Judge Joanna Corner, Judge Renee Alapini Gansu, and Judge Althea Violet Alexis Windsor. Mr. Abd-Al-Rahman, the alleged leader of the Janjaweed militia, is accused of 31 counts of war crimes and crimes against humanity allegedly committed in Darfur, Sudan, between August 2003 and at least April 2004. These crimes include directing attacks against the civilian population, murders, pillaging, rape, persecution, torture, cruel treatment, and other inhumane acts. The trial chamber granted protective measures to the witnesses, such as the use of a pseudonym, voice and image distortion, as well as conducting parts of the trial in private sessions. The witnesses were first questioned by representatives of the Office of the Prosecutor, Senior Trial Lawyer Julian Nichols, Trial Lawyers Pubudu Sachitanadan, Edward Jeremy, and Associate Trial Lawyer Laura Morris, followed by further questioning by the legal representatives of victims, Natalie von Wistinghausen and Anand Shah, and finally by Lead Defense Counsel Cyril Lauchi and Associate Defense Counsel Ian Edwards. During this evidentiary block, witness P0980 testified about the attacks by GOS forces and the Janjaweed militia in Arawala, as well as within his village, between September and December 2003 and his subsequent fleeing to Delige. The witness further said that he and some of his family members were arrested and taken to the Delige police station, where they were detained and beaten by the Janjaweed militia, including by Mr. Abd-Al-Rahman himself. The witness was questioned about the appearance of the accused.
Could you please describe to the court what Ali Kushayb looked like?
Ali Kushayb was the leader of the militias. When he came to the village police station, he was standing before us. He was in military form, and he had a apparatus, and he is carrying a gun, and he was wearing a uniform, and he was also holding a stick.
And can you tell us please about his
هل
height?
يمكن تعرف طوله؟ كم طول علي كشيب؟ Maybe he's long.
I'm afraid I heard Arabic in my interpretation. I'm going to repeat the question.
I can say he is taller than you, maybe. He's a bit taller than you. He's a bit taller than you.
And can you describe anything else about him, his face, for example?
His face is darker, the skin, darker skin. And he's, I said, tall and with a dark skin.
The legal representative of victim's lawyer, Anand Shah, questioned the witness about his experience while in detention at the Delige police station and how the incident impacted his life.
Yes, Mr. Witness, what were you beaten with? What type of object?
The witness, a big stick.
And Mr. Witness, you've described in your statement in quite striking terms what you experienced on that day, how hot it was, and the physical assault you suffered. Is that something that you still think about to this day? Is it something that's impacted you?
The witness. Yes, of course, it had a very serious impact because it's so difficult to forget this.
During his cross-examination by the defense counsel, witness P0980 answered questions about a previous statement he had given to the prosecution investigators. The witness recalled that he was captured, beaten, and detained in March 2004 at the Delish police station. The defense counsel confronted the witness about this portion of his testimony.
Well, that's right. You did testify yesterday that after all you were beaten. But I'm going to suggest to you that your account changes every time you tell it.
I said that yesterday. I said that in the session here. I said the same things that I say now, and I can repeat it again now. I was beaten.
You arrived at the police station in your uniform. Even if you didn't have the opportunity to tell anyone when you were arrested at your home that you're a student, why didn't you tell anyone on arrival at the police station that you're a student and say, look, I'm even wearing my school uniform?
If I had the opportunity, to say anything or do anything, I wouldn't have been in that place at all. But the situation was very, very difficult. We were not able to move at all. Even people who were in the square were not allowed to even talk. They didn't allow us to even open our mouth. If you do, you get beaten. Who am I supposed to speak to? Who am I supposed to inform? And there is nobody to protect us. We didn't have any kind of protection.
During this evidentiary block, 6 other witnesses testified about their experiences during the charged period. They all spoke about the various attacks in their specific locations and the impact those attacks had on their lives. Witness P720 testified about attacks in Mukjar, while witness P0012 testified about attacks in Bindisi. In addition, witnesses P0892, P0718, and P0850 all spoke about attacks in their specific villages. Witness P0547 testified in private sessions to protect his identity. Witness P0012 testified about the role of the accused in the attack on Bindisi.
You say in paragraph 84, final sentence, that during this attack on Old Bindisi, you saw Kushaib on horseback in front of the people. Now, so what was he doing when you saw him?
Answer: he was given orders to the Okada or colonels, who in turn gave orders to their Fursan to kill, loot, and burn.
And how were you able to tell that he was giving orders? On what basis do you say that?
Answer: I saw him with my own eyes, but I did not hear his words myself. But given the signs he was making, it seemed he was given instructions, and the people around him were considered the leaders of the groups. So I realized he was giving them instructions because they were there at the front and fire was burning behind. So he was there making these signs. So I was able to be sure that he was giving them instructions or orders.
Witness P0012 also testified about the attacks in Bindisi.
Well, there was a lot of fire. 90% of the homes in Bindisi are constructed using local materials. They are wooden materials, inflammable. So the entire town was on fire. It was a terrifying situation. Smoke was coming up everywhere. To describe this, it's beyond words to describe this.
And are you able to say what Bindisi looked like after the attack? You say in your statement that you were there in the days following the attack on the 15th and the 16th. What did Bindisi look like then?
Answer. After the attack, it was a rabble of ashes, corpses scattered everywhere. It's the destruction that results from war. All that was left in Bindisi were smithereens and ashes. During the attack, there were senior people and children, and it's difficult for such people to leave. Someone who's 90 years old during the attack is not in a position to flee. So when war happens, you can imagine what that person's fate is. This is what I saw with my own eyes in Bindisi.
During this evidentiary block, the three judges of the chamber also questioned witnesses briefly. Judge Rene Alapiniganso took the floor to question witness P0012 about the land lost by the civilians who had fled after the attacks.
Now, what I wanted to ask you is linked to the land. You told the chamber that the lands belonging to the people of that region involved in that situation, that these people left their land and that subsequently other people came and occupied the lands. Who are these people? Are they the same people who came and reoccupied their own land, or is it different people?
Answer. Other people. Answer. They are the Janjaweed.
The trial in the case of the prosecutor versus Ali Muhammad Ali Abd-Al-Rahman continued on the 30th of June 2022 with the testimonies of new witnesses called by the Office of the Prosecutor.